Are you a kid who pulls their hair, eyebrows, or eyelashes? Or maybe you're a kid who picks their skin until it scabs or gets infected? You are not alone. We're going to be talking all about pulling and picking behavior, so stay tuned. That's what's up next. Welcome to Ask the Child Therapist. I'm Natasha Daniels, a child therapist, and I make videos for kids with anxiety and OCD. Today I want to talk to you about hair pulling and skin picking, because a lot of kids with anxiety and a lot of kids with OCD tend to have this issue. And maybe you don't have anxiety or OCD, but you just happen to find this video. I want to help kids who have this condition, because most of the time kids are embarrassed, they don't realize it's a thing, and they don't know what to do about it. A lot of times they keep it secret and they don't tell anybody. So let's get into it. For starters, what is it and why are you doing it? I think it's important for you to know that you are not alone. Body-focused repetitive behaviors, also known as BFRBs, include skin picking and hair pulling, nail biting, and other habits that are very, very hard to break. They're hard to break because the people that do them get kind of a lot of satisfaction from doing it. You know how I know this? Because I'm a skin picker. And I enjoy picking my skin. True story. There is a lot of stress relief that comes from picking my skin. But it's not good because, one, it doesn't look good, and two, it's not really a healthy thing to do. So how do you stop behavior that feels good in the moment, but then you feel really guilty about it afterwards? Let's talk about it. First thing you want to do is figure out, when do you do this habit? When are you picking or pulling? For most of us, it's going to be in two main areas. It's going to be when we're really bored and we're like watching something, or super relaxed, or we're super bored, and then we're going to pick or pull. Or when we are super stressed and we're in a high pressure situation, or we're feeling really worried or anxious or overwhelmed, then we might pick or pull as well. So for most of us who are pickers or pullers, you're going to have two different types of danger times. Your two danger times are going to be when you're super relaxed and super bored, or super stressed and super worried. In the middle, not as much for most of us. So figure out, for starters, what is your danger time? When are you most likely to pull or pick? Now, for some of you, it might be situational. And so maybe it's around certain activities. Maybe when you're at your computer, or maybe when you're on your iPad, or maybe when you're at school in that one particular class that drives you nuts. Figure out what your danger times are. So after you figured out what your danger times are, maybe high stress, maybe super bored, now we need to find your danger zones. Where are your danger zones? Which means, where are you picking and pulling? Do you pick and pull in your bedroom? Are you more likely to pick or pull when you're on the computer, when you're in the car? I want you to start thinking about the location of when you pick and pull. So we want to know when, what triggers it, what situations trigger it, and then we want to know where. Where do you pick and pull most commonly? Once you know where you're likely to pull and when you're likely to pull, then you got to do something about it. The hard part is there's nothing you can do about the urge. Do you know what an urge is? It's like an itch. You know when you have a mosquito bite and you feel that little tingling sensation and you just want to scratch it to death, and then after you scratch it, you're like, ugh, kind of hurt my skin, and now my skin is really raw and sensitive. That's what it feels like to pick or pull. I mean, I know you know this because you're watching this video, but maybe other people don't. And so that urge, that's the itch. And unfortunately, there is nothing you can do to get rid of the urge. But the hope is you can get rid of the behavior that comes after the urge. And that way, you can grow your hair back, or your eyebrows back, or have your skin recover. So for some of you, you may want to do something called blocking. So when you block, you're going to try to block your skin or your hair from your enemy, the hands. Nobody can tell you what to do. This is your battle. This is your deal. I have a little 6-year-old who is a major picker, and I can't tell her what to do because that's not helpful. She has to decide how she wants to handle her body, and I can just suggest things. So nobody can tell you what to do, and if they try to block for you, it's not going to work because this is your deal, this is your journey, and you have to decide. Because if other people force you to do things about this problem, you're going to be resentful and you're not going to want to work on it. So you have to be motivated to want to fix this for yourself. So before you do anything, before I even get into what you can do to maybe stop the behavior, you have to ask yourself, what is motivating me to stop? In plain English, why do you want to stop? What is bad about picking or pulling? For some of you who pull, it's kind of embarrassing to lose your eyebrows or your hair. That can be embarrassing. People can be cruel. So maybe it is how you look. For me with picking, for my own picking and for my daughter's picking, having these open wounds and scabs is just really not healthy at all. So not only does it look bad, it's really not safe. So those are the motivations for myself, and those are the motivations for my daughter. She doesn't want to have scabs all over. She had scabs on her forehead, and everybody was saying, what happened to you? And she didn't like the attention. What is it for you? Why do you want to stop? Because it's going to be hard. So you better figure out what's going to motivate you. Once you figure out your motivation, what causes the picking and pulling, and where you do it the most, then you want to come up with a block. A block is something in between your hands and where you pick or pull. Because a lot of times these are habits. So I will go to my neck and I'll feel my neck without even noticing. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm looking for a bump that I can pick, because that's what I do. So I might pick before I even realize it. I might be 5 minutes into picking, or you might pull and be 15, 20 minutes into pulling and then realize, oh my gosh, I've been pulling my hair this whole time. So when you block, what you're doing is you're putting something in between you and your skin or your hair, so that when you're automatically going to your hair or your skin, it brings it to your awareness. So we'll talk about what some people like to use for blocking, but it's going to be totally up to you. Blocking. You can use little band-aids on your fingers. You can use clear ones that people don't notice as much. You can wear a hat. You could wear gloves when you're at home. Now, a lot of times when I suggest these ideas to kids in my practice, I get a lot of no's. No, that's not going to work. No, I don't like that. And I say to kids, you got to decide what's going to work for you. The whole idea of blocking is just finding something between you and the thing that you want to pick or pull. My daughter likes Band-Aids, and for her, she puts Band-Aids on her scabs so that when she goes to the scab, she can feel the Band-Aid. And then she can make a decision at that point, do I want to take the Band-Aid off and pick, or do I want to work on my progress and not? And at that point, she's not doing it automatically, and it's at least in her awareness. If you want to wear a hat or something that blocks your pulling, or something on your fingers that make it weird if you're going to be pulling, especially these two, because these tend to be the pickers. Not the pickers, the pullers. Then you're going to bring it to your awareness. But it's something that you're going to have to decide for yourself and something that you're going to have to check into. A lot of people complain that they're not even aware they're picking or pulling before they do it, and then the damage is already done. So you want to really work on bringing awareness to your enemies. Dun, 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 dun. So besides blocking, you also want to be really aware when your hands are in your danger zones of your body. So for me, my danger zone is on my neck. That's my main area, right here. So if my hands move above my shoulders and I've been in a picking kind of mood, I'm going to be very aware that my hands are leaving the safe zone, which is below my shoulders, and they're entering the danger zone, which is above my shoulders. So where is your danger zone? And pay attention to where your hands are. Now, if you want a little extra help with this, you can put a bracelet on that has a little bell on it or a jiggle, and so you can kind of be more aware of your hands. Or you can buy rings that have little bells on them, and then that brings some awareness to your hands as well. There's also kind of an expensive bracelet, but a very cool bracelet called the Keen bracelet from Habitaware.com, and it vibrates whenever your hand does a gesture that is a picking or pulling gesture for you. And I can leave a link below for that. But there are other ways to do it, such as having a ring or a bracelet that makes some noise, or even just being aware of where your hands are. That can be helpful. So after you have motivated yourself, what situations are going to make you pick or pull, you know what locations you're more likely to pick or pull, and you're super aware of if your hands leave your shoulders and go higher, if this is your danger zone. The last thing you want to do is set yourself up for success. And so go around to the danger zones in your house or wherever they may be, and you want to have alternative things to do for your hands. Since your hands are the enemy, dun 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 dun, we want to do something else with our hands, because if my hands are busy doing something else, they're less likely to try to go back and do more picking. So I want to engage my hands. So for my daughter, who's little, we've tried a lot of different things. There are a zillion different fidget toys and silly putty, and there's a zillion of them. And I will leave a link to some fidget type of ideas, or maybe I'll just do a montage right now really quick of some pictures of what are called fidget toys. There's boinks, there's like chew toppers, there's chew bracelets. What else? I like these type of pencils. I have some of these in my office, for the hair pullers. There are these type of rings that are kind of interesting. And there's a whole bunch of other things. And I'll just leave a montage right now. But you're going to want to find something that works for you. And so with my daughter, we tried many of these different products. And I've had lots of kids that have come to me in my practice, and I've given them lots of these products. And what I find is one of them eventually clicks, and they like that as kind of a replacement behavior. I want to pick or pull, and so I'm going to replace that urge with this behavior. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the exact behavior. My daughter likes to pick, but yet she really likes these bracelets. These are the best for her. And so she chews on them, and that's her replacement behavior. She decided. So whenever she has the urge, she grabs her bracelet and she chews on it. And even though chewing isn't the same sensation as her picking, it's a replacement behavior that helps her kind of focus her attention somewhere else. And so what we have done, or what she has done, because I'm really into empowering kids to do this themselves, I bought her a pack of 7 of these bracelets, and she has put a bracelet in every single one of her danger zones. So her danger zones are her bean bag. We have a really big bean bag, and she sits in there and she's super relaxed. So then she's more likely to pick. Sometimes she's anxious when she's in bed, and so we have a bracelet right by her bedside so that if she's feeling nervous when she goes to bed, she can have that. And in the car, she said, is a big one because she's relaxed. Sometimes if we're driving really far, or she's really nervous because she has a lot of anxiety about going to school. What we also did in the car is, because she's only 6, I put a whole bunch of finger puppets in the car, and she's very creative, and so she will make up stories as we're driving, and it keeps her fingers busy. I've had older kids too who have really enjoyed finger puppets, just because it's funny and it's goofy and it's on their hands. Whatever works for you. Lastly, I do think it's really cool to celebrate success. So I never tell my daughter, stop picking. If I notice that she's chewing on her bracelet, I will praise her and I'll say, hey, that's really good that you're using your bracelet. You should be really proud of yourself. And it's about you. So maybe you want to partner with your mom or dad and you want to say, hey, can we maybe make like a prize motivation thing? Maybe we can make a prize box, and when you see that I'm improving or I'm using my skills, I can earn a prize. I mean, prizes never hurt nobody, right? The important thing though with prizes is we don't want to give prizes for how much you're not picking or pulling, because you are going to pick and you are going to pull sometimes, because it's a very hard habit to break. So you want to be really, really kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up if you backslide and you wind up picking or pulling. As long as you're trying and you're having a good effort, that's all that matters. You're going to sometimes give into that urge, but you just try and try again, and that's okay. So if you're going to do rewards or prizes, be sure that you're getting a reward or a prize based on your effort and not on what your skin or hair looks like, because we're here to lift you up and not crush you down. Well, I hope that helped. If you have a mom or dad who doesn't understand your hair pulling or your skin picking, I made a podcast episode just on this, and you can tell them about it, and it's right here. I put it on YouTube as well, so they can watch it or they can listen to it on my podcast. Having an amazing day. I hope you find the sparkle in everything you do. I will have a new video out on anxiety or OCD next Thursday, so don't forget to subscribe. I'll talk to you later.